Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. So much reaction to the crazy roster move that OpTic bringing Ghosty into their team from Challengers to replace iLLeY in their starting team. Scump admits he was shocked by this decision when he found out, but some members of the OpTic camp don't seem so convinced that this move is actually the way they need to go, and there might be other changes required further down the line. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. First of all, don't know why Elon made the Twitter font so small now on desktop, and I've tried to zoom everything in to make it readable. Then again, I read the tweet out anyway, so what does it really matter? This was some old Pristini versus Ghosty drama from back in January, and now he's on none other than OpTic Texas. Now, got to talk about this as well. I even hinted at this a few days ago because I'd heard some rumors that this might be possible. Modern Warfare 2, Activision might have decided, because they love the cashola baby, that maybe a 2-year cycle isn't the way to go. I thought the plan was going to be release all the new maps, or not new maps, right? Just remaster the maps or whatever, release new content, whatever, and try and sell it again as a new package deal for year 2. But apparently they might be considering developing or just releasing an entirely new game. I believe the plan was for Sledgehammer to actually create the additional map content or whatever for Modern Warfare 2, but I guess Warzone's underperforming, they need the money, so, well, they don't need the money, but they obviously want the money, so, you know, maybe Sledgehammer now producing their own game, because this is what they've been talking about lately, this, like, full release. Apparently it's going to be a new title. Now, whether that new title is kind of just part of the Modern Warfare universe and is just effectively a follow-on to what we currently have, and therefore they're calling it a new title such that they can convince people to actually spend the $70 on it, maybe that's the plan here. I guess we'll see. But definitely interesting how they've kind of changed what they're talking about, because it was meant to be a 2-year cycle now for Infinity Ward and Modern Warfare, and then Treyarch's game was going to come out in 2024. We were going to get 2 years of that. Hopefully we still do. But I guess we'll see. But the rumors have it that there's going to be a brand new Sledgehammer Games title. So, I mean, man, if Sledgehammer Games are like on an accelerated schedule here to make a brand new game, and considering what they came up in Vanguard, and they've now got to make another game in a shorter time period, like, it's going to be absolutely tragic. So, I don't know what we're going to have here, whether we're going to go back to Advanced Warfare 2, doubtful. But, you know, maybe Activision think, you know what, things have been struggling with Call of Duty lately, time to go back to jetpacks, baby, bring them back. Like, I don't know, I'd be down for that. So, yeah, I guess we'll see. But that's the rumors right now, that it's a new, fully fledged premium game and potentially part of the Modern Warfare universe. Whether that means they release Modern Warfare 3 and just magic that up out of nowhere to try and sell some copies, I don't know what the plan is. Not sure what this means for competitive either. But Modern Warfare 2 might not be a 2-year cycle after all, and this is kind of some of the discussions here in the article, that, you know, expect a lot of remastered maps for multiplayer, so not exactly a massive surprise. It might kind of just be a follow-on, like they're trying to say is a premium title so they can actually sell it or whatever. Maybe it's just a marketing strategy. I guess we'll see down the line. But, I mean, yeah, I thought this is pretty interesting from Travis, actually, looking back at COD Ghost. This was a map called Bayview, you guys might remember, a DLC map from that game. It had 31 multiplayer maps across only just that year or so. This was Infinity Ward back in the day. They produced some bangers. Okay, some of the maps were terrible in this game, but some of them were really damn good, and some of the DLC maps are fantastic. Really enjoyed playing and watching them at the time, and they produced 30, some were bad quality, but some were decent quality maps during that time cycle, and nowadays we can't get anything, it seems. They just bring back Museum and, you know, Dome right from Modern Warfare 3 for Season 2. Let's talk Rostermania then. Capsule, we know that, of course, he teamed with Methods on the Boston guys last year. We believe he might be getting a shot back in the league on Florida. Rumor has it he trailed for them last night. There's also this from Exceed and Arcitys, who are kind of talking about, you know, Exceed's trying to bait him, potentially got benched. Don't know if that would be the case, though, with Arcitys replying intel. You'd imagine that Arcitys probably wouldn't reply this if, you know, if he was actually getting benched for the team. I guess we'll see. But obviously, we've got to discuss the OpTic situation, right? So Scump turned the stream on last night to discuss everything and was talking about the Ghosty move. Kind of funny, actually, that Scump found out that it was Hex's birthday yesterday through a Reddit post that said, damn, Ghosty got picked up on Hex's birthday. That's kind of crazy. Scump was like, oh, hang on a second, I better give this guy a phone call. And also this from Shotzzy. I don't think this is really too relevant, but, you know, happy birthday, Hex. And as Shotzzy says, happy birthday to the best sniper in the world, which is, you know, just a little bit, I don't think Shotzzy means anything bad by this, which is a bit interesting, right? The fact that it was only a day before where iLLeY, who arguably is the best sniper in the world right now, at least in Search and Destroy, on, well, in the CDL, let's just say, was on his team, and now he dropped him for whatever, you know, the Warlord is at it again. And even as, you know, CDL Pal says, major threes at home, major weekend at Friday. cry, bro. You know, you're out of here. So yeah, iLLeY's gone. Whether this is the right move, I don't know. Hopefully iLLeY will land on his feet and have a good next step. And we'll see over the coming days where that could potentially be. But Ghosty is coming in as his replacement. As I said yesterday, high risk, high rewards. There's, you know, a lot that could go right. If Ghosty turns out to be the next Formal or whatever, then, you know, they're cooking with gas. But if he doesn't, and especially because you lose a fair bit by losing iLLeY, you know, down the line, is this actually going to work out long term? I'm not so convinced. I do understand what OpTic might be doing here, just because they probably know that they want Pred and maybe Sib, who knows, at the end of the season. If Ghosty is great, then I guess you keep him as well. But there might be the argument that OpTic are just trying to, you know, the players that aren't part of their future plans from 12 months down the line, might as well just cut them now, I guess. And that maybe that's what they're trying to do here with iLLeY. But some would say that Huke should have been the one to go, or should have been a two-man change. In fairness, it's harder to find, I think, good SMGs than it is to find good ARs. Like, you know, Ghosty and others could have been acquirable, as indeed they were. Finding good SMGs is pretty tough right now. You can go Capster, you can go this guy called Dak that Florida are trialing out. But outside of that, there's not too many great options that are actually gettable right now, especially with Seattle Surge saying that they're not making any changes for whatever reason. Now, it seems Parasite actually kind of consulted OpTic on this. I believe Dashy said on stream that he reached out to Parasite and said, hey, we're thinking about challenges here. Like, who are your recommendations? And Parasite kind of said, you know what, Ghosty would be a good candidate. Gave a couple of other options, I'm sure, as well. But yeah, Parasite should be charging for this, right? I know that people maybe don't want to bring Parasite on as like a full-time coaching situation where, you know, there's some risk that maybe Parasite, relationships, personality-wise, might have some issues with certain members of the team. But if Parasite was to charge $1,000 an hour just to, you know, consult for some of these teams, that'd be a pretty good business decision, I think. So maybe you could think about that in the future. Because some good advice from Parasite on that front is going to give you, well, potentially a lot more than that amount of money further down the line. And as he goes on to say, if Dan plays to his potential, I think the guy's a perfect fit for OpTic. Is very vocal, good at all game modes, also has a sniper in his arsenal. That's one question as well, because Dashy's been so impactful on the AR. Do OpTic fans want Dashy to now pull out the sniper again with iLLeY no longer there? Should Ghosty use the sniper instead? I don't know, I guess we'll see. And yeah, he reckons he needs a better PC as well in order to take everything to the next level. And even as Ghosty says, truly an honor it is to be here. Thank you for the warm welcome at Hex. So yeah, will this work out? I don't know, but we're gonna have to look at some of the reaction here, because a massive moment in the community. And as I said yesterday, also really cool for challengers as well, to actually show that challengers is a legit path, right? Because I'm sure a lot of you know, the guys in challengers have a hard time trying to stay motivated that they can actually get picked up at some point. Some do, but often it's a bit of a cycle that some players get picked up, they go back down, they come back up again. Whereas a guy like Ghosty just goes to show that even the biggest organization in Call of Duty can sign a player like this. I'm sure will give a lot of hope to the rest of the challenger scene as well. Even Clay I thought was pretty funny, so I think they teamed with him last year. So it was the Clay's pipeline, but also the Doug Sense Martin pipeline, and also the Parasite pipeline that Ghosty has gone through. So definitely reason to believe this guy is going to be, well, obviously a good signing for OpTic. But yes, he might have the slaying power, but does it fix some of their issues in terms of decision making? That is, I think, a very big question indeed, that clearly Karma, I think, is not so convinced about as well. We'll see here in a second. So this is the roster, a crazy mix. Dashy, Huke, Ghosty, and Shotzzy going into a very difficult set of Major 3 qualifiers. They play, if you guys missed yesterday's video, Los Angeles Guerrillas, Toronto Ultra, the Minnesota Rokkr, the New York Subliners, and then the Atlanta FaZe. That is their 5 set of matches. Far from easy at all. And obviously, they're going into the home major. Ghosty's being thrown straight into the fire here. And, well, will pressure make diamonds in this particular case? Some aren't convinced at all. Nameless's opinion is pretty clear. He looks at this as in, they got rid of Scump, well, they didn't get rid of Scump, he retired, and iLLeY is now gone, and Ghosty and Huke are in. So it's effectively Ghosty for iLLeY and Huke for Scump. That is effectively the change from now, well, comparing now to the start of the season, that's what's happened. When you look at it in that way, which Nameless is looking at it from that perspective, which maybe is valid, maybe is not, he's like, look, I don't like it, it's not going to work out. And a lot of these opinions seem to be falling the way of Huke and some of his decision making. So last night on stream, I'll share the clips here from Scump where he initially reacted to the iLLeY drops decision and to Ghosty coming in and just saying he was massively surprised and shocked by the change. And then later on stream, I thought was kind of interesting, there was basically the roast of Huke. There was a session going down and, you know, Nameless obviously was there, but also Karma was there, and okay, Scump was trying to mediate and Method was trying to mediate a little bit here. But, you know, there was a clip that really came out where Karma and Nameless were going in on Huke and saying he was faded for making these bad decisions, and they pretty much did this for quite some time. Seems to me that Karma, ever since Huke has joined the team, has not been so convinced about this one.
I found out about the news yesterday. I was shocked. I mean, absolutely shocked. I found out right before we were about to shoot the podcast, and I mean, I was just absolutely shocked. I didn't know what to think. Stop it, bro. You knew. No, I did know. I knew yesterday. I knew yesterday before everything was like going down, and that was really the first that I heard about it. I'm not bashing Ender. I texted Ender last night. Again, guys, I had no idea this was happening until yesterday. I had literally zero clue this was happening. But I texted Ender as soon as I heard that it happened, or as soon as he was told, and you know, I told him, like, it was a pleasure to team with you, man. I know you'll land on your feet, stuff like that. Like, I'm sorry this is happening, but again, I'm not the one making these decisions. So, but you know what I'm saying? I texted him. I was like, my bad, bro. Like, sucks, but it's Ender, and he's gonna be fine. But yeah, people kind of form this personal connection with these players, and then they just don't really look at anything else. You know what I'm saying? So you're saying Kyler right here just runs down middle.
This is faded. This is absolutely faded right here. He could have went and played mid-cut. Watch. Look what he does.
I think he should go mid-cut because Brandon's late to get to the truck.
Like, anyway, go palms right here and just cut off P1, like cut off all P1 and like front laundry.
Yeah. Because Brandon needs help because he's getting there late.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah. I only brought it up because I was curious, dude, what you guys thought about it. I didn't know.
I have to assume his mindset is they're spawning gas.
Look,
and he won't, I'm going to pinch them off spawn. He also probably wasn't banking on all three of his teammates to drop at the same time. Let me just say, it's not a good play. It's a bad play.
And then he cuts back to mid to try to salvage it.
It looks way worse by all three of his teammates dying at the time he's doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's one of those.
He's not expecting Brandon to die on the back white trucks. Brandon pushes up, he dies. Bad play, not defending it, but it looks way worse, and it's a lot worse because of everybody dying at the same time around.
Wait, my only thought.
That stuff he has to get better at, though. Like, you can't be making those types of plays, bro.
Dude, I saw him. Okay, dude, it sounds like I'm being such a dick, but like, dude, I forget what map it is. I saw him rotate to like a hill at like 50 seconds on one of the maps, bro. And like, he was like around. I kept saying he's going around the world again, around the world.
I mean, yeah.
Like, I don't know. It looks so.
I mean, hold on. I mean, watching it back.
So, what do you guys think about this, right? Because obviously, iLLeY is gone, and as I said earlier, there might be an argument to say that iLLeY has been inconsistent, and maybe down the line in 12 months' time, was iLLeY going to be part of this OpTic team anyway? Maybe not. So, why not move him on now and try and get maybe an upgrade in terms of firepower? That's understandable. And as I said, Huke, can you really get a better replacement? I think there are better players out there, but can you get them now in terms of SMGs? Maybe not. But still, Karma has been kind of clear, I think, of what he's saying here over the last couple of weeks, really, since Huke's joined the team, that he's not been so convinced by this decision, not been so convinced by this move. And even last night, we says, yeah, I sound pretty bad saying this, but iLLeY was just faded making these plays. And that has always been the thing with Huke, right? That's what people have always said, and I think understandably that his decision-making at times does lack in certain situations. Now, maybe Ghosty dropping more numbers than iLLeY might have done will free up those guys to do what they want a little bit more, but we know that Shotzzy and Huke aren't exactly going to be the most tethered players, and trying to get them to play under Rambo's style maybe wasn't working either. So, you know, something might have to give here in the long term. Karma, to me, doesn't seem convinced that iLLeY was necessarily the problem, and maybe, you know, a change for Huke is necessary down the line to actually get this team to where they need to be as well. But that's the thing that confuses me about this roster in a way, is that, okay, let's say you do change out Huke for Pred, either immediately or a couple of months down the line when, let's say, next season begins, and you get Pred in here, but Ghosty's performing well and still stays. Like, does that team have all the attributes of a winning team? Maybe Dashy needs to become the leader, and this is the possibility that I think a lot of people are looking at now, is that Dashy, after being called out by Scump and after being called out by Hex in a way to lead this team to the next level, he might have to develop those leadership characteristics, right? We know that we always make the comparison between Dashy and Formal in terms of ability, but Dashy's never had the kind of leadership element of his character that Formal's had over time, and communication and all this type of stuff. So maybe it's time that Dashy steps up into that role, and if Dashy can kind of take over some of the characteristics that iLLeY was bringing to the team, then they can probably do whatever with the rest of the roster, and it can still work long term. So those are just my thoughts on it, but in tweeting your perspective in the comment section below, does this fix their issues? I think it's kind of the big question to me, and I'm certainly not convinced that it does yet, and obviously they have a very difficult set of qualifiers to prove exactly that. But very much enjoy your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.